The first reading from the letter to the Hebrews speaks of the priesthood of Jesus. Jesus being the high priest. It's always a part of history of any religion or element of any religion about having mediators. Mediators in between God and man. Between God and man. We need mediators to bring our prayers to God, and we need mediators to listen God's response through them. Why there is a need for mediators? One of those primary reasons is this: because we cannot stand it before God's presence. We cannot stand personally when we are before God's majesty. That is one of those big reasons. Because when you are before God, we say, many say, you die if you are before God. That is how it is. That's why we need mediators. You cannot just say, God is there, I have to climb up the mountain and be there. When Moses saw the burning bush, from the burning bush, a voice was heard, Moses, this is the holy ground. Take off your shoes. And the rest of the Israelites, they do not ask Moses, please bring us where this burning bush is. Please bring us where you hear this voice is. No. They just ask Moses, please tell this God about us. We do not have the guts to go with you up the mountain. Because if we are before God's presence, we die. We need a mediator. But in Jesus, being our high priests, in our baptism, we share in the threefold function of Jesus. We know that. Priest, prophet, and king. Therefore, when we pray, when we join in the Eucharistic celebration, this is a gathering of priests. We are invited in Jesus to stand before God personally. Not just send our prayers to priests, not just tell priests, please bring my prayer to God, but ourselves. We ourselves. We kneel before God's altar and say, Lord, here are my petitions. We ourselves, we kneel before God and say, Lord, please forgive me. We do not. When you go to confession, you do not tell the priests, please ask forgiveness for my sins on my behalf. No, you're doing it yourself. This is the high priesthood of Jesus. He invites us to stand before God. And we know it well how it is to stand before God. We die. We die when we stand before God. That is how courageous we are when we come over to join in this Eucharistic celebration. That is the kind of courage we have when we receive Him during communion. We take Him to be part of ourselves. We should be reminded, when we are before God, we die. We die. This is our priesthood. We die to ourselves. We die to our wishes, desires, and sinfulness. We die to our anger and hatred. We have so much dying to experience because we are priests. Because we share in the priesthood of Jesus. And Jesus tells us, invites us, come before God's presence and be ready to die. As we continue this Eucharistic celebration, as we bring before God our intentions and prayers, let us then ask that grace from the Lord. Lord, please, I'm not ready to die yet. But with your grace, Lord, please help me. There is much of myself I need to die from my anger, my hatred, my greed, so many of ourselves that we need to die from. Let us ask that grace from the Lord then. Let us be true priests who stand before God and be ready to die.